Why is the rising generation turning towards Christianity? Gen Z is by far the most connected generation, which leads to so many problems on its own. But they're also the most anxious generation. They're the highest medicated generation, the highest suicide rate generation. The use of smartphones and consumerism has optimized our society for dopamine, but we've completely lost the purpose and meaning behind it. Things currently are hollow. They're empty. There's no fulfillment. And so if you were to ask anybody in the previous generation where you think modern technology would drive the up-and-coming generation, I would imagine that they would say that the internet is going to replace religion, that artificial intelligence will negate the necessity to learn about God. You'll be told everything to do, so you don't need to think for yourself. That science is going to dissolve the necessity for belief. That the way that media portrays organized religion will drive a wedge between disciples and the desire to go to a church to learn. And so there's all of these things that you would predict would happen, and quite frankly, they're just not. The up-and-coming generation has become the most vocal about their spirituality, and they're returning to Christianity. Because we're here today, yes, there are far more trials and difficulties in modern society than perhaps 4 or 5 generations ago. However, you're given the ability to draw closer to Christ. And so the reason that the modern generation is returning to Christianity and becoming so vocal about it is because it's true. There's so many other avenues that you can take, but they all lead towards a hollow, dismal despair. As you look at how social media has driven the modern consumer, it's towards overconsumption. If I can just get that new shirt, if I can just get that new car, if I can just get that new phone, you're walking towards an inevitable march of internal realization that you are unfulfilled. And there is nothing that will fill that gap, even though modern society is telling you that something will. Nothing will fill that other than Jesus Christ. And once you find that, people are turning towards social media to share, hey, it's okay. There is hope. There is more to life than overconsumption, or there is more to life than finding fulfillment in likes and views and anything else on social media. And it's just incredibly fascinating. One of my favorite quotes discussing Christianity is by C.S. Lewis. I think he was a masterful philosopher, and he was able to articulate things that are so difficult. And he said, if I find myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. Now I'm going to read that again because that's so beautiful. If I find myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. That's beautiful. And it perfectly summarizes the reason that Gen Z is returning to Christianity, because overconsumption, fame, social media will lead to unfulfillment. Perhaps the things that the world offers me is not what my soul wants. And when you find that, what a transcendent experience, because it starts a journey of finding God. I think finding Jesus Christ in this modern day and age is so difficult because so many of us hit rock bottom and stay there. 36% of young adults will have some level of mental health issue, and 1 in 10 will struggle with suicidal thoughts. That is heartbreaking. That is devastating to hear that statistic. What I love about artists is they're able to articulate problems in a way that words never would be able to. This painting, for example, how can you articulate the pain that God feels when he sees one of his children struggling? Have you ever thought about what it actually looks like when you're on the floor at rock bottom, that you feel completely broken, worthless, that maybe even you think that the world is better off with your light? Have you ever thought about what that looks like to God? Have you ever thought about the pain that he experiences knowing that his child is hurting so bad? And for an artist like Paige Payne to take and articulate that in a piece that is so powerful that you can feel it is amazing. I think artists see the world differently, and they're able to articulate the problems in such a creative way that they make it approachable. This piece is inspired by a traditional Japanese form of pottery called kintsugi. And what's so cool about this is they take these pottery, whether it was previously or they do it themselves, is broken. And how many of us feel like that somebody else broke us, or that we broke ourselves, that we're shattered, we're broken. And this traditional Japanese art form is they take the broken pottery and they put it back together using melted gold. And what's fascinating is when you take this broken pot and you put it back together using this gold, it is stronger than it was before, but it is also exponentially more beautiful. And the way that this artist was able to articulate all of these struggles that we have in modern society and the solution in a singular art piece is something that is incredible. Why would you not hang that on your wall as a constant reminder in any stage of your life that, hey, I was once broken and now I'm beautiful, or I am actively so shattered right now, I don't know what to do. And then you can look and see that maybe Jesus Christ, the master potter, the master creator, can turn this and make it good. I am so crazy passionate about art, and especially Christian art, because of what I can see it do for people. Another piece that I see so commonly helping people who struggle with mental health is The Hand of God. This is the number one most sold painting of Christ ever. And for a reason, because it resonates with so many people. We may be turning back to Christ, but that doesn't mean that it's easy, and it doesn't mean that we know what we're doing. Peter was a fisherman, so he was most likely extremely comfortable in and around water. And this moment, I think, relates to so many of us because he was in the boat comfortable, and Christ came, and whether it was Christ or whether it was just the world around us, the boat was being shaken. And I think that's important to remember because oftentimes our boats are shaken. We're comfortable, and then life comes, and a big wave smacks us in the face. And then Christ says, why don't you climb out of this comfort, this comfortable boat that you're in? Why don't you step out of it and walk on water? And that moment is incredibly terrifying because you are asked by Christ to do something that you're almost certain that you'll fail at. As you look at this rising generation returning to Christianity, they are coming to him from this sunken viewpoint. And that's why this painting is so powerful, because they are drowning. And Jesus Christ is there for them. He reaches his hand out and he grabs them and he pulls them up. And so whether you're coming from the boat and seeing Jesus Christ, whether you're walking on water with him or whether you're drowning, he is there for all of it. And this is the only first-person view painting that I know of, and it was masterfully done by Young-Sung Kim. And again, why I love art so much is because they're able to articulate emotions and situations and scenarios in ways that words just can't articulate. I don't think of Jesus Christ every second of every day, but it is impossible not to think of him when there's a painting of him hanging on my wall. Every time I walk past and I see the hand of God hanging on my wall, I think about how Jesus Christ is there reaching his hand to help me. Every time I see that painting of Paige Payne and Kintsugi, I'm reminded that I can be broken and healed, and regardless of which, Christ is there. And he knows the pain, and you can see the tears running down his face because he knows the pain. Isn't that just beautiful that the rising generation is turning towards Christ, that we are becoming vocal and proud of our religion, and society is accepting us for it? It's just beautiful. And I'm so happy that there are incredible artists in the world who are able to help people in any stage of their life, whether they're struggling with mental health, whether they're struggling in their marriage, whether they're struggling with infertility or financially. There is no one else that can help you but Jesus Christ, and there is no better reminder of Jesus Christ than visually seeing him. So for an entire generation of people, whether they're drowning or walking on water or completely broken or made beautiful again through Christ, whether you're searching for identity or meaning or loneliness or despair, it's not surprising that this generation is not rejecting the solution to it. It's not surprising that they're realizing that they were not made for this world, but that there is something so much more beautiful in store for them. And that's what we all want, is to find real hope. There's nothing better than Jesus Christ in your life, and there's nothing better than surrounding yourself with him and finding ways to grow closer to him. And for everyone who's turning towards Christ, I'm proud of you. And for everyone who has found Christ and is actively sharing it with other people, I'm proud of you. And for the artists who are able to take these hypersensitive situations like infertility and mental health and any other problem that they're trying to portray, and for them to create art that can help the average person like me find Jesus Christ, thank you. There's just nothing more beautiful than Jesus Christ in our lives. And so thank you for tuning in. If you are interested in purchasing any modern Christian art, we are offering 20% off with Podcast 20. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.